You wake up with crust in your eyes after another night of torturing yourself over whether that girl you like actually likes you back. Your hand instinctively reaches for your phone to check if she's responded yet. Face it, man, you're down bad over this chick. You're so obsessed with the idea that she might be the one that you can't see the cold, hard truth. She's just stringing you along. Welcome to the dark, miserable pit that slowly crushes a man's soul when he can't get over a woman who doesn't really want him. It's a depth of despair that makes hell seem like a vacation resort. Most dudes who fall into this trap never escape. But not you, not today. Now we're here to smack some sense into you before it's too late. Listen up, because I've been trapped in the friend zone hellscape more times than I can count. I'm dropping 7 undeniable signs that she only sees you as a platonic buddy, no matter how badly you want more. This is Tough Love 101, so pay attention. Let's dive in. Sign number 1. She laughs at your lame jokes. When a woman is genuinely attracted to a man, she's not going to force laughter at every unfunny quip that comes out of his mouth. Her amusement will be more discerning. She'll chuckle at the jokes that actually land, and let the duds pass by without overdoing the fake laugh track routine. But when a girl cackles uproariously at all your corny one-liners and played-out pop culture references, it's a major red flag. Deep down, she knows your jokes are cringeworthy, but she can't help but eat them up anyway. Why? Because in her mind, you've already been downgraded to the status of harmless male friend rather than a romantic prospect. She can let her guard down around you without fear of sending the wrong signals, because she's friend-zoned you into utter undesirability. Your lame jokes pose zero threat, so she can be totally herself. An animated giggler who strokes your fragile ego by pretending your humor is top-notch. Sorry to burst your bubble, bro, but when an attractive woman has to force herself to laugh at your jokes, it's one of the clearest signs she's putting you in the friend zone. Sign number 2. You catch her staring, then looking away quickly. You've definitely experienced this one before. You're in the same room or environment as the girl you're into, and you can't help but notice her sneaking furtive glances in your direction when she thinks you're not paying attention. But as soon as your eyes meet, she whips her head away like she's been caught doing something she shouldn't. In your delusional mind, you've probably romanticized this as her playing coy or being rendered speechless by your smoldering good looks. Here's a splash of cold reality. She's staring at you the same way someone at the zoo watches a monkey throw feces, with a morbid fascination. To her, you're an interesting creature to observe from a distance, but not someone she actually desires. If she were truly attracted to you, she'd hold your gaze with an unmistakable sexual tension. She'd maybe bite her lip a little or make solid, unflinching eye contact that says, "I want you." Instead, her avoiding eye contact as soon as it's made is a subconscious way of putting you in the permanent friend zone. She's gawking at you as a curious novelty, not a hot piece of man-meat she wants to ravage. That hurts, doesn't it? Sign number 3. She wants you to meet her friends. For a lot of guys, this one feels like a victory signal. The fact that she wants to incorporate you into her innermost circle must mean she sees serious potential, right? After all, why else would she bother getting her friend's seal of approval unless she plans on leveling up the relationship? While that's the naive, hopeful interpretation, the sadder possibility is that she simply views you as a non-threatening, zero-romance potential pal that her crew needs to vet. You see, when women rally the troops to give their opinion on a new guy, it's often not because they're considering him as a romantic partner. Rather, it's to gauge whether he's cool enough to exist on the platonic periphery and be invited to group hangouts as the token male friend who all the girls feel 100% comfortable around without any fear of him mistaking friendliness for flirtation. You may think this is your big chance to showcase your awesome personality and boyfriend virtues, but to them, you're more like an exotic pet their good friend recently adopted. They're assessing how well you'll blend into the group dynamic, not how viable of a dating prospect you are. By bestowing their blessing upon your involvement in the clique, they're solidifying your friend zone status. Sign number 4. She's a handsy hugger. Physical touch is one of the most undeniable signs that a woman sees you in a romantic light or as a platonic friend. A lingering hug, playful touching, consistently finding excuses to have bodily contact, legs grazing, etc. These are all tactics women employ to tantalize a man they're legitimately interested in. But they're also the calling cards of a girl who has completely desexualized you in her mind. You see, when a woman views a man as a feasible romantic partner, she's much more cognizant of proper physical boundaries to avoid sending mixed signals or coming off too strong too soon. But once she friend zones him, all bets are off. She can freely engage in snuggly, handsy behavior without fear because she knows he's been mentally gelded. She doesn't have to worry about inadvertently leading him on or being perceived as a tease because the possibility of sexual tension is completely off the table. That's why she can throw her arms around you in long, sensual hugs or repeatedly touch your arm during conversation without a second thought. In her mind, you're just her cute little non-sexual sidekick, so she can be as physically affectionate as she wants without trepidation. To you, it feels maddeningly mixed. To her, it's simply the innocent intimacy of two buds. Sign number 5. Conversation drought. Admittedly, this one is a more ambiguous indicator that could simply mean she's the low-effort, disinterested texter. We've all been there, sending fully engaged messages and getting radio silence or half-hearted LOL replies in return. It's immensely frustrating. But when a woman genuinely craves a man's attention and engagement, she'll make the conversational effort without fail. Think about it. If you were truly into someone and they reached out, you'd be stoked to receive their message and enthusiastically reciprocate, right? That's because when a romantic connection exists, there's an underlying eagerness to keep that conversational momentum going and nurture the flirtation. But when zero romantic interest is present, having to put in the effort to uphold witty banter feels like a draining chore. You'll notice her responses get more terse and lackadaisical the longer your text exchange goes on, because sustaining that level of enthusiasm for someone she has zero desire to pursue just isn't a priority. Her short, delayed, and increasingly unengaged replies aren't a test of your texting persistence. They're a friend-zoning tactic to deaden your romantic overtures until you finally get the hint. The convo hitting a dead zone is a blazing red flag that she sees you as a platonic chat buddy, not a romantic prospect worth investing mental energy into. Sign number 6. Social media desperation. In our social media-saturated society, women have become masters of using cyber-flirting tactics like the indiscriminate liking of a guy's posts and stories across all platforms to either intentionally stoke his interest or unintentionally misguide him into believing she's interested when she's not. This latter phenomenon can likely be chalked up to simple politeness or a desire to stay on good terms, but it's also one of the cruelest friend-zoning pitfalls. Think about it. By dutifully double-tapping on every single one of your Instagram posts, reels, and stories like they're paid promotional content, she's telling herself she's just supporting you in a benign, innocuous manner. But from your vantage point, you see those rapid-fire successions of likes as undeniable flirting that's stoking your romantic hopes and whetting your already thirsty appetite for her attention. In your delusion, you think it's her playfully teeing you up to finally shoot your shot and slide into her DMs. So when you muster the courage to turn that digital flirtation into an actual in-person pursuit by transitioning your online connection into reality, you'll likely be met with a cold, crushing rejection in the form of being cruelly curved, ignore, or hit with a polite but boundary-reinforcing reply that reminds you of your friend zone status. All because you misread her indiscriminate social media support as romantic interest. Sign number 7. The friend-zoned, Netflix and chill. At this point, if you've managed to reach the stage where a girl deems you harmless enough to invite over to her home, alone, it's one of two scenarios. Either, A, she's finally feeling socially comfortable enough around you to extend a booty call invitation for a casual fling, or B, she sees you as so utterly devoid of sexual threat that having you over doesn't even register as a risk on her private territory. Judging by all the other friend zone signs we've covered thus far, you can likely deduce which scenario applies to your situation. If she's repeatedly exhibited all the telltale characteristics of eradicating any sexual tension and viewing you through a completely platonic lens, then her invite to come. Look, man, at the end of the day, you have to be honest with yourself. If you can't find a woman who exhibits any of these interest signs, it's probably time for some serious self-reflection. Maybe work on building more confidence in yourself as a man. Upgrade your style, hit the gym, work on your social skills. Because no matter how amazing you think a girl is, pining over someone who keeps putting you in the friend zone is a brutal form of self-torture. Have some self-respect and move on to greener pastures before you get swallowed up by the pit of despair. I'm just looking out for you, bro, keeping it 100. Now get out there and handle your business like a king. Good luck.